Hello there. In this video, you'll learn about some of the most profitable horse racing gamblers and syndicates from the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and Hong Kong since 1930. We'll delve into who they were and how they achieved their success. While the horse racing industry has evolved with the computer age, a number of gamblers have consistently found ways to beat the odds, either through advanced data analysis, insider knowledge, or sophisticated betting methodologies. In the United States, one of the most famous and successful horse racing syndicates was known as the Computer Group, founded in the early 1980s by Michael Kent and Dr. William Bill Benter. This group revolutionized horse racing betting with the use of computer algorithms, which allowed them to predict race outcomes with unprecedented accuracy. Before the advent of the Computer Group, most gamblers relied on traditional methods of betting, including gut feelings, hunches, or basic statistical analysis. However, the Computer Group employed a new methodology that integrated complex mathematical models to identify value bets in races. The Computer Group's success can largely be attributed to its ability to spot inefficiencies in the odds offered by bookmakers. Their computer system would analyze past performance data, track conditions, jockey records, and other variables to create a predictive model of race outcomes. By comparing these results with the odds being offered, the group could identify where bookmakers had underestimated or overestimated a horse's chances. They would then place large bets on horses where the potential payout far exceeded the perceived risk. One of the core principles that the Computer Group employed was exploiting overlays. Where the odds being offered on a particular horse were higher, then the syndicate's calculated chances of the horse winning. By consistently placing bets on overlays, the Computer Group was able to generate significant profits. At its peak, the group was said to be placing hundreds of bets per day, and by the mid-1980s, they were reportedly generating annual profits in the tens of millions of dollars. Hong Kong, with its highly regulated and lucrative horse racing industry, has also produced one of the most successful betting operations in history, led by Bill Benter. Benter, an American mathematician and former member of the Computer Group, moved to Hong Kong in the mid-1880s to take advantage of the city's thriving horse racing scene. Along with his partner, Alan Woods, Benter developed one of the most advanced horse racing betting algorithms ever created. Benter's success was built on a model that incorporated a staggering number of variables, including horse form, track conditions, jockey and trainer records, and even the betting patterns of other gamblers. He and Woods designed a program that could predict the outcome of races with remarkable accuracy, and they used this to identify value bets where the odds offered were higher than the model's predicted probability. One of the key differences in Benter's methodology compared to other syndicates was his use of machine learning. His algorithm would continuously learn and improve with each race, refining its predictions over time. This allowed Benter's syndicate to adapt to changing conditions and stay ahead of other bettors. By the mid-1990s, Benter was reportedly making tens of millions of dollars per year from his betting operation. Perhaps the most famous story about Benter is how he once successfully predicted the outcome of an entire race card, a feat considered nearly impossible. While Benter has since retired from active betting, his legacy lives on, and his methodologies have influenced other syndicates and professional gamblers around the world. Alan Woods was an Australian mathematician and professional gambler who, alongside Bill Benter, became one of the most successful horse racing gamblers in Hong Kong. After starting his career as a professional blackjack player, Woods turned to horse racing in the mid-1980s and found immense success in Hong Kong's horse racing scene. He teamed up with Bill Benter to develop an advanced algorithmic betting system for predicting horse race outcomes. Woods' system was based on detailed statistical analysis and probabilities, incorporating factors such as a horse's form, track conditions, and jockey performances. Like Benter, Woods was a pioneer in using computer models to analyze horse racing data, which allowed him to place highly informed bets on the races held by the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Although Woods and Benter eventually parted ways, Woods continued to refine his betting system, amassing hundreds of millions of dollars in profits over his lifetime. By the time of his death in 2008, Woods had become one of the richest gamblers in the world, with his fortune estimated to be over $670 million. In the United Kingdom, few names in horse racing are as synonymous with successful gambling coups as Barney Curley. An Irish-born former seminarian turned professional gambler, Curley became famous for pulling off some of the most audacious betting coups in British horse racing history. Curley, a master of manipulating the odds, is best known for his 1975 Yellow Sam coup, a meticulously planned event that netted him £300,000, equivalent to several million pounds today when adjusted for inflation. Curley's methodology was based on a deep understanding of the horse racing industry, including the psychology of bookmakers and the mechanics of the betting market. He had an intimate knowledge of the form of horses, track conditions, and how to exploit gaps in bookmakers' attention. One of Curley's key tactics was to bet on less well-known races, where bookmakers were less likely to focus, and to place his wagers at a time when their attention was diverted by larger, more popular events. In the Yellow Sam coup, Curley used a combination of insider knowledge and a strategic betting plan to manipulate the odds in his favor. He arranged for a horse named Yellow Sam, which had been performing poorly in previous races, to run in a relatively obscure race at Bellewstown in Ireland. Curley knew that Yellow Sam was actually in much better form than the bookmakers thought, but to ensure that the odds stayed high, he deployed an elaborate scheme involving hundreds of small bets placed at different betting shops around the country. At that time, the only way bookmakers could communicate odds changes to one another was via telephone. Curley had an accomplice deliberately tie up the only phone line at the racetrack, preventing bookmakers from adjusting the odds when large amounts of money started coming in on Yellow Sam. The horse won at odds of 20-1, making Curley a fortune. His coup became the stuff of legend, and while he never replicated it on the same scale, Curley continued to find success using similar tactics for decades. In Australia, Zeljko Ranogajec, a reclusive professional gambler and betting syndicate leader, stands as one of the most successful figures in the history of horse racing. Ranogajec, originally from Tasmania, built a vast gambling empire through his ability to exploit inefficiencies in the betting market, particularly in Australia's pari-mutuel system, where winnings are determined by the total amount wagered on a race. Ranogajec was a math prodigy, and he used his mathematical expertise to create sophisticated models that analysed the odds and bet flows in horse racing markets. His syndicate became renowned for placing massive bets, sometimes constituting a significant percentage of the total pool in certain races. Ranogajec was known for spreading his bets across multiple bookmakers and using betting rebates offered by TABs, totalisator agency boards, to his advantage. The size of his operations was extraordinary. It is estimated that Ranogajec's syndicate wagered billions of dollars annually across various forms of gambling, including horse racing, lotteries, and other sports. One of the keys to his success was his ability to negotiate substantial rebates from TABs, often as high as 10 to 15% of the amount wagered. This meant that even if his syndicate broke even on the bets themselves, they would still make a significant profit from the rebates alone. Ranogajec also employed a large team of data analysts and bettors who helped place wagers across the country. His syndicate was one of the most influential in the Australian horse racing industry, to the point where many bookmakers and TABs adjusted their systems to mitigate his impact. Despite this, Ranogajec remained highly successful, and his operation continues to be one of the most profitable in the world. Patrick Veitch is one of the most successful professional gamblers in modern British history, having reportedly won over £10 million from horse racing betting. Veitch, a Cambridge-educated mathematician, has been actively involved in gambling since the 1990s, and his success stems largely from his analytical approach to betting. Veitch is known for using mathematical analysis and careful research to identify horses with favourable odds. His betting strategy focuses on spotting value in the betting markets where bookmakers have mispriced horses. He built a reputation for taking advantage of inconsistencies between his own assessments of horses' chances and the odds offered by bookmakers. Over time, he developed a network of informants, including trainers and jockeys, to gather insider information that would give him an edge over bookmakers. One of Veitch's most famous coups was his bet on a horse named Exponential in 2010, where he won over £1 million. Throughout his career, he has been known for meticulous planning, sometimes placing large sums on specific races after extensive research and analysis. Tony Bloom, often called the Lizard, is another figure whose success in horse racing betting has attracted widespread attention. Bloom is a well-known sports bettor and poker player, but is especially recognized for his gambling operations in horse racing. His nickname, the Lizard, comes from his cool demeanor and calmness under pressure, traits that served him well in both gambling and poker. Bloom is reported to lead one of the largest and most successful sports betting syndicates in the world, focusing not only on horse racing, but also on football and other sports. He has built a betting operation that employs a team of analysts who study form, odds, and other variables to spot value bets across a variety of markets. Bloom's success extends beyond gambling. He is also the owner of Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club in the Premier League. His expertise in analytics and statistics, as well as his ability to manage risk, has made him one of the wealthiest professional gamblers in the world. J.P. McManus, an Irish businessman and professional gambler, is one of the most influential and successful figures in the world of horse racing. McManus began his gambling career in the 1970s, initially betting on greyhound racing before moving on to horse racing. Known for his sharp mind and extensive knowledge of the sport, McManus is famous for placing large bets on horses, particularly during major events like the Cheltenham Festival. McManus's success in horse racing extends to both his betting prowess and his role as a prominent racehorse owner. He has owned a number of highly successful horses, including winners of the Cheltenham Gold Cup, Grand National, and other prestigious races. His approach to betting often involves leveraging inside information from trainers and jockeys, as well as his keen understanding of the form and behaviour of the horses he bets on. McManus is also renowned for his participation in high-stakes private gambling games, including backgammon, where he has earned considerable sums. His fortune, which is estimated to be in the billions, is partly built on his gambling successes. Bill Waterhouse was one of Australia's most famous and successful bookmakers, but he was also known to operate as a professional gambler. Waterhouse, who started his career in the mid-20th century, became famous for taking massive bets on horse races and for his ability to handle high-risk wagers. He operated as the country's biggest bookmaker for decades and became synonymous with Australian horse racing gambling. While primarily known as a bookmaker, Waterhouse also engaged in significant gambling operations, betting against other bookmakers or even his own clients when he believed the odds were favourable. He was involved in several famous betting coups, including the Fine Cotton scandal, which led to his temporary suspension from the industry. Waterhouse's career highlights the dual nature of some figures in horse racing, who straddle the line between being bookmakers and gamblers, profiting from both sides of the betting equation. There are many other successful sports bettors who have made fortunes by focusing on sports outside of horse racing. This will be the subject of another video. Subscribe to the channel to watch other related content and to get the free AI-powered NFL game predictions. Let me know in the comments section any other topics you are interested in. Thanks for watching.